as well as gentlemen, Papa Boris here with another Hearthstone arena run. Since I've been away, I had 2 bad runs with Warlock and Rogue, just made it to 4 games each. But I also played a Warrior run, made it up to 8 wins, and that was a lot of fun. Warriors are just demolition derbies. It's so awesome. For this run, we're going to go ahead and pick Mage, and I'm trying a new format for my videos. So basically, I'm going to record the draft and just a couple of games, no more than 30 minutes of total video time in one video, and then if you're enjoying how the arena is going, the rest of the games will be posted in a second video. Let's go ahead and start things off with the Mage, a very strong class. Ooh, a legendary! Wow. Well, haven't had a legendary in a long time. So, the Gruul is huge, and Harrison Jones is nice in this particular metagame because, you know, lots of warriors playing weapons and stuff, but I think overall the most strong creature here is the Black Knight. Reasonable mana cost, and your opponent will usually play something with taunt. You bring it down, you destroy their taunter. It just is absolutely game-changing. I think even more so than, you know, miscellaneous giant creature Z. Alright, Frostbolt has been buffed. It now deals 3 damage and freezes a character as before, but only costs 2 mana, so although the Shattered Sun Cleric is a fantastic card, Frostbolt has been upgraded from a sometimes take to an always take card. Flame Strike! Yeah, I'll take 2 Flame Strikes. I think I'll probably play with 3 Flame Strikes. Oh, why couldn't the Shattered Sun Cleric have been here? Why am I getting garbage? Alright, so I can take some generic card draw, but I think I'm actually going to pick up the Snapjaw here. The reason is that, in this particular metagame, he survives Flame Strikes, lots of mages. He survives weapons, lots of warriors. So, it's nice to have a random thing around that's just hard for your opponent to kill. Well, I think, like I said, I'd play with 3 Flame Strikes. This stuff's pretty mediocre. Let's play with 3 Flame Strikes. Alright, do I take the Loot Hoarder or the Wolf Rider? I actually will take the Loot Hoarder here just to make sure we get a little bit of card draw somewhere in my deck. Alright, the Dalaran Mage has been nerfed, so he sucks now. I'd never pick him if anything better was available. So it's between the Chillwind Yeti and Water Elemental. Notice the Water Elemental is a really good creature. It has the same stats total as the Chillwind Yeti, 9 and 9, just rearranged a little bit, and it has an ability. Now the ability is a little bit weird because basically if an enemy runs into you, it'll get unfrozen at the end of its next turn, so the freeze is unimportant. The only time the freeze is important is if you hit it on your turn. But that is actually sometimes very relevant against warriors or rogues who are trying to weapon you down, or even just a big creature that you need to buy some time against. So, given that the stats are the same, I think the Water Elemental is what I would pick there. Alright, so I've got 3 good cards here. Silence is nice to have, but I think this other stuff is very fine as well. Raid Leader's cool because he messes up with combat math. I think, though, for metagame purposes, I'm going to take the Gurubashi Berserker, again, because he survives weapons and flame strikes, and it's nice to have some resistance in your deck. Alright, this stuff is neat, but the Stampeding Kodo is sometimes just an absolute blowout. There's a lot of good creatures with, you know, 2 or less attack, like Mogushan Wardens, you know, my own Gurubashi Berserkers, and always the Snapjaw. So, it's 3-5 for 5, which is decent stat-wise, so we're going to go ahead and pick that up here. Would I play with 4 Flame Strikes? No, I think it's time for another Frostbolt. Alright, why can't anything good be spread out? Why can't I have, like, a Raid Leader here, other than the fact that the Raid Leader is a common? Seriously, a common card is better than any of this junk. Ugh. Alright, I guess it's going to be Mana Addict. I do have a fair bit of spells, but this is just a pretty trashy pack. Frostbolt to go over junk. I get lots of removal here. Ah, very high quality creature here, the Dark Iron Dwarf. This guy's good as well, but I prefer the buffer. Alright, we're going to need some 3 mana creatures at some point, I hope. So, these are both playable secrets, for sure, but I have a lot of spells in my deck, so the Wild Pyromancer is actually pretty solid. Alright, we need some 3-drops here, so the Flesh-Eating Ghoul fits the bill quite nicely. This card is a little bit mediocre. Let's hold out for some better late game and take the card drawer. Polymorph. Oh, I hate passing on the Worgen. Why couldn't the Worgen have been in the pack where I took, like, the Novice Engineer or something, or the Loot Hoarder? That would have been fantastic, but we can't pass on a Polymorph. Alright, Cone of Cold is a fantastic spell. Really messes with your opponent's day. Alright, interesting choice here. So Defender of Argus might not be that great in my deck just because I have a lot of spells, not so many creatures. Twilight Drake is 4 mana, Adventurer is 3. Let's just take the Adventurer, fill that spot in the curve. Ooh, our Harvest Golem, perfect. Exactly what we need. Let's see here. So Mirror Image is actually a pretty good spell now. It really buys you a lot of time. So it might be nice to pick it up here. Just have some early game stalling. Mad Bomber I'm not too keen on, although I'm not playing with that many creatures, so it's likely to be okay. This is a nice big wall. Let's take the wall here. I think that could help a lot. Ice Barrier is like one of the worst cards ever. We'll take another Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Alright, we need some big stuff, so as cool as Spell Power is, I think it's... Let's see, this is 13 stats, this is 11, this is 1 more mana. Spell damage, I do have a lot of stuff here. I mean, Flame Strikes, Frost Bolts. Cone of Cold is amazing with spell power. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and pass on this guy and take the slightly more moderate card. Ooh, late game is exactly what we need. Take the Stormwind Champion. Dread Corsair is strictly worse than the Grizzly because I don't have any weapons. So we'll take the Grizzly here. Alright, Ice Barrier is terrible, Mirror Image is okay, Water Elementals are super solid. We'll grab that here. I always would like to have at least one Frost Nova in a deck. Sorcerer's Apprentice is nice, but Frost Nova is really, really nice. So we're going to pick that up here. It's a good late game card. And yeah, Frostwolf Warlord for a little bit more late game to round things out. That's great. I am going to take Mind Control Tech here. I hate that card. I loathe it. I loathe it with every fiber of my being. But it sometimes, when you would otherwise lose, gives you like a 50-50 chance to win. I had one arena where I was a rogue. I was at 6-2. My opponent had 4 creatures on the board. And I had a 5/3 Deadly Weaponed Assassin's Blade, and my opponent had 5 life. But he had 1 Taunter in the way, which had 5 health. So I mind controlled, it stole the Taunter, and I was able to win the game. I went on to get 9 wins in that arena. So, you know, in that pack, there wasn't anything good. So I might as well have just taken the thing that might sometimes save me the game. Alright, so I'm getting a lot of 4-drops here. What's my quality 4-drops? I think my most good ones are the Warden and the Water Elemental, so we'll pass back the Snapshot. Cone of Cold can be really good, though. Sometimes, you know, you can incidentally kill a creature. And it's actually a really good combo with the Pyromancer if this survives. Can Cone of Cold and deal 2 damage to all minions, which kills both of these cards, but could potentially Wrath his board. Alright, let's pass here. No need to use the coin. I think I'm going to be using the coin on turn 3 if there's nothing to Cone of Cold, because I want to play, you know, 2 of these 4-drops in a row. All things considered, I don't mind trading the Pyromancer for the Dragon. I don't really mind treating it as just a random 3/2. He could, of course, be threatened by it and use a Shadow Word Pain on it, which would be sad. But Shadow Word Pain kills a lot of my big creatures, like the Warden and my Snapjaw and my Water Elementals, so it's not the end of the world if he uses it there. Alright, let's go ahead and trade. Well, hang on. If I Cone of Cold, these guys would both get 2 damage dealt to it. This guy would freeze. Next turn, I could finish off with my hero ability. Let's not get greedy. Let's just do this. And let's actually coin out the creature that trumps his creature. I could have played the Grizzly for free, but I'd like to save the taunt maybe for later when it might actually have some value. Yeah, Cone of Cold was a tempting play there. If it had been like turn 5 and I had 2 more mana, I would have done it. Alright, he's swinging past me. Does he have removal for my Water Elemental? No, he does not. Alright, perfect. Alright, Flame Strike gives me a feeling of security. Let's do this, and let's just spend as much mana as I can. I'm gonna put this guy down. Reason being, I want to save the Taunter for when there's actually a reason to protect him. Priests don't have any, like, charging cards other than the neutral cards, so I'm not going to play around a Wolf Rider and drop this down. Let's go ahead and put down the Water Elemental and start dealing some more damage. The Motion Warden, it's worth noting, has good stats. Notice how the total is 8. The total of these guys is 9, so you're only spending 1 point for the taunt, and that's totally fair. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to be 2-for-1ing myself here. But this guy already killed something, so it's okay. Let's actually do it this way. I think this is a good way to do it. Let's Frostbolt, so I can put some damage on and freeze him. Oh my gosh, I'm up against a priest. Hang on, he could actually heal back up to 5. You have to take that into account when you're up against a priest. Yeah, we need to hurry it up. I almost forgot about the priest hero ability. By the way, kids, this is a good ability. A lot of people say, oh, the priest's ability sucks because you can't use it on turn 2. Like, who cares? That's only one standard for evaluating hero abilities. Like, whether or not it is usable on the second turn. Like, the fact that this ability can be used to heal creatures and screw things up for your opponents is really strong. I'd say Priest actually is pretty strong against Mage in general, because one of the Mage's strengths is that she can use her hero ability to pick off creatures over time, but against the Priest, the hero ability just nullifies that potential, so it's, when you're a Mage, the potential that you have against your opponents is a little bit diminished. Until end of turn. Ah, that's really good. So basically what that card did is deal 4 damage to Water Elemental, kill Flesh-Eating Ghoul. So that was pretty good. Had I had a Taunter in play, it would have been nice. Alright, do I want to play this as a 5/5? Or do I want to get a little bit greedy? Let's not get greedy, actually. Let's just play it now. 5/5 is pretty strong on this board. Shadow Word Death would kill it, but if it gets any bigger, Shadow Word Death would still kill it. So yeah, might as well drop the threats and keep the pressure coming. What I could do next turn is play both my taunters, allow my opponent to build up a board, and then hopefully kill it with Flame Strike. It would be nice to draw one of my other late game cards at some point here. I'm kind of running out of steam. None of this stuff is that big, so once the Frostwolf Warlord gets taken care of... Nick Carr says... oh wow, really? Alright, it's just... I had a 3 and a 5. If they'd have been 2 4s, it would have been a totally different story. Anyway, let's go ahead then and drop my stuff back on the board. Alright, 2 Flame Strikes. It's actually getting a little bit awkward here. I don't have a particularly good board presence. Anytime you have taunts on the board, you're basically spending stat points to get nothing. So I don't have a great board presence. My opponent could easily drop a big creature that would wreck my day, because Flame Strike is good against lots of things, and Cold is good against little things. My opponent is... I wouldn't say overextending. It's kind of hard. You don't want to like play around Flame Strike to the point where you just lose because you're not playing any of your things. But it's nice to not overextend too much against it, so 2 creatures is a pretty safe bet. Don't want to use this guy. It's an interesting question. I mean, he might play a better Taunter later. If I use this, I still have to trade a creature to kill that. Let's keep more creatures on the board. Let's use a Flame Strike here. It's a 2 for 1. As a mage, you have to take really great care not to try to go crazy with Flame Strike. You know, you can't just play it like, you know, always going for like the kill 4 creatures with Flame Strike thing. I mean, killing 2 creatures with 1 card is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. This, sadly, does not have Taunt, so it's actually a little bit tricky for me to kill it. I could Frostbolt, 2 for 1, is that a good plan? I can't Frostbolt, and like normally what's great is you can Frostbolt, wait, and then kill next turn, but because I'm up against a Priest, he can just heal it, and then I'm be screwed. Yeah, I think it's worth it to 2 for 1 here. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. I obviously don't want to play this. This just seems kind of weak. This isn't doing me any good. Yeah, we're gonna do the 2 for 1. So basically, I'm just stalling for time here. It really sucks that I'm skipping a beat and none of these cards were playable with 7 mana. I kind of wish I'd put this guy down on the board last time, so I'd have a 4/5 on the board. But anyway, that's okay. I still think I'm in pretty good shape because I have answers. Oh no! Oh my god, Mind Vision is so fucking good. If he actually got this guy, fuck my fucking life, he got that guy. I don't believe this! Oh, Jesus! Oh my god, that is ridiculous! That Mind Vision was like the most epic thing of all time. Holy fucking shit, that is something. That is something. Well, let's drop that. Let's blast him uselessly, pass the turn. At least he kind of stands up. There's 4/7 to 4/7. They're kind of squaring off. Flame Strike and Cone of Cold are now significantly better. Are you fucking kidding me? What the hell? Oh my lord, this game! This Priest did some great things. I had to play inefficiently around his heal. I got Mind Visioned. Alright, what we have to do here is just save a little bit of damage. And we're going to have to hope for a really good out. So basically, he knows I have this. He's never going to play anything with Taunt. But I'd like to keep this in my hand, so he indeed cannot do that. Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ, Mind Vision. I have no idea that was such a good card. Honestly, I had no idea that was such a good card. That is crazy as hell. So Flame Strike doesn't kill him. He might have a Flame Strike now. He might know that I have this. You know what? Forget it. This game's over. I am too demoralized to continue. There is just no coming back from that situation. All right, let's just go on to the next game and walk that one off. Holy crap! I don't know if I've been like more gut-wrenchingly crushed in my life. Let's see. If I had played that taunt-destroying guy, then he couldn't have stolen it with my opponent. Couldn't have stolen it with Mind Vision. I then would have had a 4/5 on the board instead of a 3/3 because I would have had to trade my bear for his Worgen. 4/5 wouldn't have been that relevant. I probably still would have ended up losing because of Mind Vision. But holy fuck, that was something. All right, well we got removal, we got an early play, we got a blocker. That seems all fine. So my opponent, I'll play this on turn 3 if my opponent has no creatures out. My opponent will have 1 turn to kill it. If not, it'll start getting out of control. If so, no worries. I paid 3 mana to bait a removal spell. And I've got my own high-quality removal spell here. So it should be good. Cone of Cold is a nice card to hard to have in my deck. It can kill Blood Imps, which is really nice. As long as there's something around them. So yeah, I need to do some stress relief, some therapeutic vegetable crushing. Alright, what does he got with the coin? Berserker, that is absolutely worth frostbolting, so we shall do so. Boink-a-doink. The buff to Frostbolt was very relevant there. I wouldn't have been able to play it if it were in its old 3-mana state. Next turn I might consider playing the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. We'll see. Alright, well, since he has a naked board here, we'll go ahead and play the Questing Adventurer. Very likely that he has removal, but I'd rather him spend removal on this than on something else. It's a 3-mana bait your opponent's removal card, which is just fine by me. Corruption, wow, alright. Pretty bad card. But under these circumstances where he has no other creatures out, I can just deal 2 damage and the corruption is not as bad as it could be. Let's go ahead and drop this, I think. This hits a little bit harder than the Oasis Snapjaw. Warlocks don't have the easiest time killing high toughness creatures, and I have a lot of them coming up, plus the Dark Iron Dwarf to buff one of them at some point. So, yeah. I feel like I'm in a pretty good shape here, though who knows what can happen. Fucking mind vision. That's crazy. Alright, all things considered, this is where I'm super happy to be a mage. What I can do is pop a doodle-doo, drop the Flesh Ghoul, kill it. Druids and Rogues could have also done that, but they would have taken 3 damage from popping the Divine Shield, so that's where mages, I think, just have such a strong hero ability. It's interesting how, like, the Rogue's hero ability has a lot of attention. People really think that's great. But I think the Mages has been really the best, or one of the best all along, and especially after the Rogues got nerfed, it just is the best. Alright, you know what? I'm not gonna hold out and wait for a better chance or anything. Let's just use this guy right now.
None shall pass.
Why is it that he's saying none shall pass when he's killing a creature with taunt? Shouldn't he say all shall pass? As of now, thanks to my help? That's just me. Alright, this is a fantastic situation. I can drop another beast that's hard for warlocks to kill. It survives Hellfire, which is good. I can drop a Taunter if I feel the need to protect things, and I can drop this to buff something if I need to kill one of his creatures. This is a pretty commanding lead. Alright, he's going to trade this in. Probably should do it for the Flesh-Eating Ghoul, because this is going to get bigger. No, don't hit me. Oh my god, he hit me. That is a bad play. Not only do I have like a billion and one ways to kill this, but when it so happens I don't, I'm not going to spend Flame Strike to kill it. But I mean, just now that I get to like trade for it, have this Flesh-Eating Ghoul grow out of control, my opponent really should not have done that. He should have killed one of my creatures. Kids, always kill your opponent's creatures. Alright, let's do this. And that. Actually, I probably should have played this because it's really unlikely that my opponent would get 4 creatures on the board at this stage. So I should have just put a 3/3 body on the board, but whatever. I'm in pretty commanding lead here. He's dead next turn in a couple different ways. Even if he plays a Taunter, I can actually just Flame Strike it if it will kill it, and then swing past. So this is pretty good. This was a very therapeutic game after the last one. Alright, he's going to play the Blood Imp. It's good that he didn't have that earlier in the game. That would have been annoying. This is not changing the fact that he is dead. He's got 2 mana left. Alrighty, that's the game.
I'm invincible.
I love that saying. I wish he would say it in a Russian accent, though. I am invincible! It'd be so thematic, don't you think, for the Dark Knight? Or the Black Knight? They probably couldn't use the Dark Knight. That's probably trademarked. But that was a really, really good game. I feel happy about that. I didn't even have to resort to any hijinks to win. Just solid creatures. Oh, and, you know, a legendary. But, you know, that's fine. Mind Vision! Oh, God. That game against the Priest. You know what hurts? Sometimes you just get crushed. Sometimes you just get crushed. But that game, I was, like, in the lead. I had, like, all the answers and everything. And you know what I didn't have an answer for? Mind Control! Ah, who knew? Who knew that card could be so good? You know, I'm gonna have to start respecting Mind Control more. The thing is, when you draft it, you're like, I don't know if this is that good. It might not really land. But you know what? Every single time it's been played against me, I've been like, ah! So I guess I just have to start taking it when I play Priest, because it's always taking such good stuff. It's crazy. Alright, well, we can play the Loot Hoarder on turn 2 to kind of goad my opponent into using hero ability on it. Or I could play the Wild Pyromancer on turn 2, which is a little bit tougher to kill. I guess it is just a 3-2, which is better than a 2-1. Oh yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what I'm in the mood for. Frost Nova, I mulliganed this because it's not that great early. You want to play it later in the game when you can freeze your opponent's creatures and do a bunch of stuff. You don't really want to do it early in the game, where you just pass the turn and do nothing. Alright, so I've got the greedy play here and the conservative play. The greedy play is to play the Wild Pyromancer and hope I can trade profitably with the Mana Worm. Disadvantage there is that the Wild Pyromancer might be killed. However, I have nothing to do on turn 3 anyway, so then I can just Frostbolt the Mana Worm if this plan fails. Okay, I convinced myself into playing that guy. His ability is not important. I don't really ever count on his ability in the deck. It's just 3-2 for 2, which is fine, and sometimes he does something useful as well. Even if my opponent plays a spell, the Mana Worm will only trade with the Pyromancer, so it's just as good as using hero ability and then Mana Worming the Pyromancer to death. So he shouldn't play a spell just to pump the Mana Worm up. Oh, we're on the vegetable patch again. This is my favorite map. I wish I could just always pick this map. I wish I could just always be popping vegetables. I mean, in theory, that shouldn't be impossible, right? In theory, you know, it doesn't matter what map my opponent has. Cone of Cold, what? That's very greedy of my opponent. So basically, he's going to use the hero ability next turn to finish this off. To finish me off. Well, now is the time for the Frostbolt. And I'm really happy that my opponent just totally wasted a Cone of Cold. Oh, I forgot I was going to kill myself. Whoops. Well, it doesn't matter. So he doesn't have to spend 2 mana killing me now, but it's not the end of the world. He spent removal, basically, to kill my guy, and Cone of Cold can be used much better. Alright, this guy is a sucky card, but it does kill Loot Hoarder quite profitably. That's pretty much all I can do. So we're going to play the Grizzly here. So, hero ability plus Grizzly will kill this thing. It's a bit unfortunate of a situation. Loot Hoarder is a very weak play at the moment. It's just a delayed cycle. And Polymorph, it's unlikely he's going to play anything worth polymorphing anytime soon. Although that actually is tempting. How loose do I want to be with my polymorphs? The answer is pretty loose. I have a gut feeling that was the correct play. Let's go ahead and kill the... Let's deal damage to the guy while we have the opportunity. Let's see, then he could actually finish me off. With him and the sheep and not have to use the hero ability. Interesting. I think what we're going to do is get a little bit greedy. We're going to swing past. Deal the damage. I figure he's going to trade. Even if he doesn't trade in 2 turns, I've got Flame Strike, which currently kills both things he has. So, yeah, we should be okay. Yep, he's going to trade in. Good. So I made absolutely the right play, attacking him. I got to put 3 extra damage on the table. Spell damage. Oh, he's got a lot of spell damage. Granted, this is about to die. So there's no reason to... is there a reason to wait for Flame Strike now that I drew the Gurubashi Berserker? No, let's play conservatively. Let's kill that. This is a big trump card on the board. Yeah, Water Elemental, it's a surprising card. I think what some people might do is look at the ability and be like, yeah, freeze character, yeah, it's not so good. But what you have to remember is that its stats are amazing for 4 mana. It's right on par with the vanilla creature stats. So when you play it, your opponent actually has a surprisingly difficult time killing it because it's 4 mana with really high stats. It's just great. Alright, so next turn at 7 mana, probably I will be playing the Gurubashi Berserker, which survives Flame Strikes. And this also survives Flame Strikes, and a Loot Hoarder. Loot Hoarder is just going to die, sadly, and draw me a card. Alright, change of plans. Let's go ahead and do this while it's hot. Even after killing the Kobold Geomancer, I'm still... Oh no, I'm dying to Flame Strike now, but whatever, it's fine. This guy survives Flame Strike until my opponent has enough mana to use the hero ability on it. And then next turn, I can play the Gurubashi, which survives Flame Strike, and Loot Hoarder, and enjoy life. Alright, that looks pretty good. I feel like things are going pretty well here. Ironbeak Owl, so this no longer freezes. This is a desperation play. Not only does the Ironbeak Owl just die to my hero ability, but it's silencing something that's pretty irrelevant. Okay, so if I kill the Azure Drake with my Black Knight, not to be confused with Dark Knight, then it will die to the hero ability next turn. So what I'm actually going to do, I think, is, let's see, I could use the donor cards. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to do this, and this, I will put my guy... No, let's just attack over it. That seems fine. And let's do this. I am invincible! They really should have gotten a Russian voice actor to do this guy. I mean, I don't actually play World of Warcraft or any of the other Warcraft games. I don't know if there's like some kind of lore or something that would prevent the Black Knight from being a Russian. But clearly, if they're gonna have him say, I am invincible, then they should have made it be a Russian, is all I'm saying. This card is really perfect for me to see because it dies to Flame Strike. Oh, okay, my opponent overextended. I would say this is overextending because there's 1, 2, 3 cards that he played. This card did nothing, this card did nothing, this card did nothing. If you're gonna overextend against Flame Strike, make sure that you did something with your cards. And I'm just killing 3 cards right here that have all done nothing. Alright, I could have turned on the Enrage, but I don't want to do that against mages because that's a bit greedy, and the more that you turn on Enrage against this guy, the closer he gets to dying to Flame Strike. And that's kind of like a little game I like to play against mages called Survive Flame Strike. See, by keeping him at 7 health, it makes it really annoying for my opponent to play Flame Strike. You know, she'd want to Flame Strike hero ability finish this off, but she can't because this guy would get Enraged. Well, now that I've got Sheep, it's a little bit of a trickier situation. Alrighty, well I think what we need to do here, I don't want to overextend against Flame Strike too much, but I think it's okay to play 2 creatures. So this guy will do a job. Oh no, actually Loot Hoarder. Oh, this is perfect. I don't want to play the Dark Iron Dwarf. Yeah, what we're going to do is this. We're going to keep... do I dare put the Flesh Eating Ghoul out? I'm going to keep the Flesh Eating Ghoul at home. I'm going to play this for a humble 7/7. I'm going to draw a card. Note, I had to play this first before doing that because the Frostwolf Order would have been smaller if I had drawn a card first. Alright, now I can play the Harvest Golem. That survives Flame Strike. We'll trade that guy in. So watch this. He's frozen, but at the end of my turn, he becomes unfrozen. So the Water Elemental's ability is quite niche. You really have to hit something with it and have the thing you hit not die in order for the ability to ever be relevant. Alright, I have a pretty Flame Strike resilient board. This was a sheep I got for free. This guy will respawn. This guy survives. Fireball. And hero ability? Alright, so now I am a little bit vulnerable to Flame Strike, unfortunately. Alright, well, Ops Engineer, let's draw a card. Always draw cards first.
I hope you like my invention.
Frostbolt. Ah, that's actually perfect. I don't want to use my creatures to kill that thing. Now, do I want to play the Flesh Eating Ghoul? It does expose me more to Flame Strike. Let's see. This guy did his job. This guy did his job. This guy survives. This guy did his job. Yeah, actually, I'm okay with losing a creature now to Flame Strike. If I had played him last turn, he'd be bigger. Well, I don't want to get too greedy here. Let's just swing. I love it when I get to swing with my sheep against mages. Alright, so next turn I've got the kill, unless he plays Flame Strike. Even with Flame Strike, I come pretty close. Oh no, he can Flame Strike. Oh shoot, he Flame Strikes. He still has enough mana to hero ability. Finish off the golem. Yeah, alright, so Flame Strike would kind of be annoying here. Pyroblast. That's a bit of a desperate play. Unless he has another Pyroblast he's holding on to, he's in trouble. But anyway, it doesn't make any difference, because he's dead. I am invincible! Alright, let's go ahead and win that game. Yeah, Flame Strike. I shouldn't have played this Flesh Eating Ghoul at all. What are they thinking? Because once a mage gets up to 9 mana, he can Flame Strike and hero ability, so he could have finished off the Harvest Golem after Flame Striking me. Alright, actually, sorry, I forgot I was doing the video in the new format. Whoops! So anyway, that might have been a little longer than 30 minutes. If so, I apologize. If you enjoyed this video, please like and or subscribe. And stay tuned. The rest of the matches will be coming up shortly.